Well, tomorrow is January the 21st, 2024. Last year, January 21st of 2023, I was on a airplane from Charlotte, North Carolina to Salt Lake City, Utah. I gosh, long story what brought me out here, and I haven't told it, but I'm also a year clean tomorrow for the first time. I don't know how many years clean off of opiates. I'm a former police officer. I've been from rookie school to rehab. I broke my neck. I was crushed under a car. I quit the police department after working for them for a while and started working in my family's business, hauling scrap and motors and all. And I was under a car one day cutting the converter out in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and the jack fell and the car crushed me because both my collarbones, my ribs broke. I busted, shattered a ligament in the knee. I was bleeding internally, and they flew me to Duke, and I lived. A couple years later, I was coming back from Virginia Beach, and I fell asleep on the pain pills. I was given 180 Oxycontin a month. I was wearing a fentanyl patch, taking Percocets for breakthrough pain and Ativan. I'd never took any pills like that, nothing like that in my life. And I was 34 years old the first time I tried anything like that. And anyway, I fell asleep, crossed the center line, hit a tractor trailer head on at 60 miles an hour. I went through the windshield. I broke T12 in my back at that time, and I fractured an orbital socket. A couple years later, my dad died in 2009, and I decided to go fishing, messed up. I was all effed up from the floor up then, and I woke up in the hospital in Charlotte. I rolled a truck, and I broke C4, 5, 6, and 7 in my neck, shattered my jaw, busted all my teeth out, broke a orbital socket right here. They had to rewire my face bones together and everything, and that took a long time to recover from. And once again, I was on fentanyl patches, Oxycontin, Roxy's, and all that for a long time. And then my doctor retired, and the new doctor said he wasn't writing that kind of medicine. So next thing you know, I'm out there sick and need medicine. So I'm finding it off the streets, wherever, grandmothers, neighbors, whoever is selling me pain pills, and pretty soon you find that community of people. So I learned out what snorting pills were about. Started snorting them, and it got real bad. Eventually, I found out what the pills dried up the last couple of years, whatever. And I started finding out what China was on the street, which is fentanyl, and I started snorting that stuff. Then eventually, I tried heroin, which led to a needle, and I started shooting dope. I'm just being transparent about it. And eventually, it got to where I had to have it every morning and not be sick. Not to feel anything except to be normal, and that's the demon with that stuff. The opiates make you so sick. Like right now, I've been on opiates for over 30 years. My body's natural endorphins just don't work as much as everybody else's now. And pretty soon your brain, if you're on opiates all the time, your brain will just shut down, making its own pain medication. So when you come off with this stuff, your body feels every little twitch. And when you're detoxing, you'll get sick as a dog. There's no sickness I can explain to you what it's like coming off with something like Oxycontin or heroin or fentanyl. There's no sickness you could ever imagine. You just wish you was dead. You just throwing up and shitting on yourself and throwing up. It's terrible. Your legs shaking, you're quivering, and it's awful. So sometimes people go to methadone clinic to beat that, and I did that. I went to the methadone clinic because I got tired of doing dope on the street. You have to wake up every morning, come up with $100 to find dope somewhere. I was hauling scrap and stuff, and just terrible existence. You ain't even living in that lifestyle. So this carried on for years and years and years, in and out of rehabs and things like that. So I went to the methadone clinic about 5 years ago, and that helped me. I had to quit using dope a little bit, but I started back doing it some. And as I was going to the methadone clinic, I was taking 138 milligrams of methadone a day for almost 4 years. And I was doing fentanyl on top of it. I never passed the drug test at the methadone clinic in almost 4 years, and they just kept letting me go. And counselors would raise hell and threaten at me. Doctor would threaten me, but they never kicked me out. And it got where it was getting bad. Well, my sister died a couple years ago, and that's when I said enough. That's another story. But anyway, I just said enough. So I started coming down off the methadone, 5 milligrams a week. It took me a year to come off of it. And I've been tapering myself off with a fentanyl. I was doing over a gram, gram and a half a day every day of that, and I got down to about a quarter gram a day. Well, my landlord come around about June of 2023 and said he's gonna sell the house or go from $600 a month to $1,200 a month. It's starting August, and his little bitty old mill house is nasty. He wouldn't even come fix the water when it's leaking. The carpet was everything just mold, just nasty as hell. One of the little mill houses, and he's a terrible landlord. And I just the air conditioning unit was stuck. It was rotten in there, and all he wouldn't fix nothing. So I decided just to leave. Well, I had about $3,500 saved up from when I left the 1st of August till December, and I started trying to find a place to live, and everywhere they wanted was 3 times the deposit or a year waiting list and all that, at least around Charlotte area and all. I couldn't get in a place, man. I just couldn't. I'd worked hard to get my credit up. It was at 400 a year before that, and I got it to 550. And so I was really working hard on fixing everything in my life. I was off the dope. Come December, I got real sick, and I got like pneumonia, and I had to get a motel room for about a month, 3-4 weeks, and that about wiped me out. So I was living in my truck trying to get caught back up in January. Well, January the 15th, 16th, my transmission went out in my truck, and when the transmission went out in my truck, I was gonna about a week or two getting away from getting a check, and I needed about 400 to get a transmission fixed, and I thought I'd be all right. So, but I detoxed all the way down to 0 at the methadone clinic over a year. So when the transmission went out, I just walked out the methadone clinic a clean man after a year. The doctor told me I was one of the first ones she knows of doing that self-detox at the methadone clinic, 5 milligrams a week, and I come off that shit, and I walked out as a clean man. And I was still fooling around with the fentanyl a little bit. Well, just a little bit, so I wasn't completely clean off of it yet. Well, when the transmission went out, I thought I could make it 2 weeks just sucking it up and just staying put. Next night, it was like 15, 16 degrees, and I had a truck running for the heat, and I was sleeping in the back seat of the truck in the gas station parking lot. And I woke up, and I heard the motors clicking real bad, the lifters, and I got out to check it, and it was smoking, and the rear main seal went out on the motor, and the whole damn crankcase of oil was on the parking lot of the QT parking lot. So now my motor's ruined, my truck's ruined, and I'm stuck 15 degrees, pretty much broke. Now I can't work, and I'm stuck, busted, disgusting, can't be trusted in Kannapolis. Just effed up from the floor up. Don't know where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. And I don't have a good relationship with really nobody. I don't have a family, really not many friends I can count on to help get me in the situation I was in. I was just screwed. I was going to have to take a bus to the Florida Keys and sleep somewhere where it's warm and just start walking around, getting jobs, washing dishes or whatever. I didn't know what to do. I texted all my sons and asked them if they could help me get my vehicle fixed, whatever. And all of them was going to help me a little bit. And Josh out here in Utah said, Dad, I bought a house there 2 years ago. He's a chemical engineer. And he had a room he wanted me to come live in with him. And boy, I didn't want to do that. I was hesitant. Come all the way out here to Utah, and me and Josh hadn't really been in each other's lives that much. I hadn't been in their lives in 20 years, just a lot of different reasons. I went to a rehab back in 2001, and after I got out of that, I just wasn't really in their lives for reasons kind of beyond my control. But that's another story. So anyway, Josh invited me out here. I sold that truck for $400 to Brandon Jordan, and I bought a one-way ticket to Utah. And I flew out here, and I told Josh, man, I'm not going to be flopping. I'm going to hit the ground running. I got out here at -5 degrees. I was clean off the fentanyl. I did the last bit of dope the 20th. Actually, it's today a year ago. And because the next day I got on an airplane and flew out here. So today I'm here clean. I am. And got an airplane, flew out here. First time I've been on a damn airplane. My second time. And I got out here and got a job of wingers. I walked in a foot of snow, -5 degrees, and I had a job the second day I was here. I started feeling sick, though. I was detoxing off all that shit. And I started trying to get kratom. That didn't work. And